Having spent most of the 80s lying under my Range Rover, in 1989 I bought a brand new 110. The 110, later named the Defender, remains today the mainstay of the Land Rover marque. Not because it sells more vehicles, but because of its image. I invited 4 Land Rover fanatics to go driving with me to see if anything had changed within the Land Rover cult. And to my delight, it hadn't.
The fact remains that they are both very capable vehicles, but a Land Cruiser is simply not a Land Rover, and that's the end of the story.
I think that it's got a reputation, and people try to match it, and it's obviously difficult to match.
Now this is an electronic module out of that controls. It's a processor that controls the engine of the new modern vehicles, and this is the processor that controls a Land Rover. Now we see here that if this thing stops working, we can take this and we can bend it. We can make this thing work. You see, you can fix a mouse trap. You can't fix this.
Would you buy another one of these, new one?
Would I buy another one?
A new Defender. Would you buy one? Would you buy a new Defender?
No, I would buy a second-hand one.
Why?
Because I don't like the engine on the TD5. It's all electronic. I can't fix it.
Okay. Any other reason why you wouldn't buy a new one?
No, none at all.
Oh, okay. What about you chaps, Patrick? Would you buy a new Defender?
No, I like my old one. That's an 84. I think very much, I don't like all the electronics that comes with it. And I'd rather have a good old V8 or TDR, something like that.
Okay, so the TD5 is not very popular because of its electronics.
That's right.
Sebastian, you got a TD5.
Yeah.
Would you buy another one?
Not a TD5, I'd rather get the other model.
Oh, really? So you would trade in your newer vehicle for an older vehicle because of the motor?
Yeah.
Okay. If the Defender wasn't available, if Land Rover stopped making them, what would you buy?
Probably a Land Cruiser, but that decision would be based purely on reports of its reliability. In terms of looks, body shape and appeal, that would rate 0.
In 1948 came the Series 1, in the late 50s the Series 2, and 10 years on the Series 3. The differences between the models is not obvious to the untrained eye. But in 1983, 20 years on, came the 110. With this model, the changes are much easier to see.
They changed the chassis. They put in coil springs, they put in wider axles, but they didn't change the bodywork. This is an early 110, and still has the original door handles. Lovely, aren't they? But these lovely looking wheel arches are because they wanted to make the axles wider, but the body's the same, so they had to put those on to cover up the axle. It looks nice, but that's the relic of the old design that carries through to this day. They changed the windscreen too. This is a single-piece windscreen, whereas before it was a two-piece windscreen. No significant change in 20 years. Absolutely extraordinary, and they're selling so many of them.
It's a bit like a donkey, I think. It goes slow, but it goes virtually everywhere. You can overload it horrendously and it will still go.
Yes. What's your favourite part about your Defender?
Probably working on it. They go on forever. If I think of, we've got 3. I've got a 71 Series 2. This is an 84 110. My wife's got a 90. The next one I need to get is a Series 1. But if you look on the road, how many Land Rovers are on the road to this day? They say 90% or 80%, and I think that's probably quite close.
Makes a very, very good point about the fact that 80 or 85% of Land Rover Defenders are still driving. It's not because of their reliability, it's because of the Land Rover religion. You don't throw away an old Land Rover, damn it, you fix it!
But I think the favourite thing about a Land is driving it.
One thing, though, Land Rover owners, most of them, can laugh at themselves. The Land Rover Club's website even has a jokes page. I like this one. Did you hear about the man whose Land Rover didn't leak oil? Land Rover took it back and worked on it until it did. Lucas make the electrics. Their motto? Get home before dark. And Lucas, the inventor of the first intermittent wiper. And perhaps the one that says it all. A Land Rover doesn't leak oil. It marks its territory.
What do you think they should do?
Well, I would disagree with you there when you say they have to modernise them. Why?
Yeah.
Why do they have to
As long
modernise
as there is
it?
a market.
The shape is unique. It's beautiful. Don't tamper with the shape. If you tamper with the shape, I would think that you're going to lose a lot of your Defender owners or potential Defender owners. If you tamper with this shape too much, that's not even a starter. It's like taking a poison pill. Not on. The older the Land Rover, the more unattached wires you find under the bonnet.
One of them, the alternator failed, but luckily the other Land Rover Defender owner had a replacement, had an alternator, and then the diesel pump on the one packed up, and the same thing. The other Defender owner had a spare diesel pump.
Yeah, and also one of the Defenders ran a wheel bearing.
Yeah, it was Dave's, I think.
That was Dave's. Yeah. And Hoggy's vehicle, a fuel starvation, which they couldn't find for hours and hours, and eventually it was a tyre, pinprick, a thorn or something that picked up in the line.
We start to do much more than we give them credit for.
This is a Land Rover owner.
Oh!
We will call him Mr. X, although his real name is Mark Erasmus of Claremont in Cape Town.
And to think some people take drugs, we take petrol and Land Rovers.
Look, the flat. A flat one.
No, I want the biggest Phillips you can find. I've done it again. My car is broken and the spare that I have
Is not that.
and this is not going to fix it.
2.
There's a lesson in here somewhere and I'm not sure what it is. And God can just smile while I try and figure out why my second Land Rover has broken in the same place as the other one. This is karma at the same time, on the same day.
The same time.
Ask you with tears in my eyes, what does it mean? You know,
It's in exactly the same spot.
I often feel I have come to this world to suffer needlessly. You know how I feel? I feel like I deserve a Defender 90, short wheelbase, perhaps tan or green.